Hello, welcome to Imperial Truth, your source for honest and clear reporting. Here is the news for March 24, 2025.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a snap election for April 28th, seeking a mandate to address escalating threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump has imposed steep tariffs on Canada and suggested plans to annex the nation as the 51st U.S. state. Carney emphasized the need for decisive action to protect Canada's sovereignty and economic stability. Upon assuming office on March 14th, Carney initially expressed a willingness to collaborate with Trump. However, recent developments have led to a more confrontational stance, with Carney stating that Trump wants to break us. The Prime Minister aims to secure a strong mandate to navigate these challenges and uphold Canada's independence.
Rasmus Jarlov, chairman of Denmark's Parliamentary Defense Committee, has voiced regret over the country's purchase of 27 U.S.-made F-35 fighter jets, valued at $3 billion. He expressed concerns that the U.S. could potentially disable the aircraft remotely or disrupt the supply of spare parts, compromising Denmark's defense capabilities. Jarlov cited U.S. intentions regarding Greenland as a factor in his apprehension. In light of these concerns, Jarlov has urged Denmark and its allies to avoid American-made weapons when possible. Denmark's 2016 purchase included 27 F-35s, with 17 already delivered. This stance reflects a broader re-evaluation of defense dependencies amid rising geopolitical tensions.
A senior Hamas official was killed in an Israeli airstrike on a hospital in southern Gaza on Sunday. The Israel Defense Forces confirmed the strike, stating that the target was a key figure within the Hamas organization. This action marks an escalation in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. The airstrike has drawn international attention and concern over the targeting of medical facilities during military operations. Details about additional casualties or damage resulting from the strike have not been fully disclosed.
Genetic testing company 23andMe has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection to facilitate its sale after years of declining sales and mounting legal challenges. The company intends to continue operations during the bankruptcy process, seeking qualified bids to acquire all or parts of its business. Customers have been assured that their genetic data will remain secure and that services will continue without interruption during the proceedings. The bankruptcy filing reflects the challenges faced by the direct-to-consumer genetic testing industry, including privacy concerns and increased regulatory scrutiny.
On January 5, 2025, former President Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act into law, a major victory for millions of retirees impacted by previous benefit reductions. The law, which eliminates the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset, will officially take effect on July 1, 2025. These provisions had reduced Social Security benefits for over 3.2 million public servants, including teachers, firefighters, and police officers. Under the new law, affected retirees will see an average monthly benefit increase of $360, with some receiving up to $1,000 more per month. The Social Security Administration has already begun processing retroactive payments, and over 1.1 million Americans have received a combined $7.5 billion in back pay. With the law taking full effect in July, many new retirees will be able to enjoy increased benefits after retirement.
The United States has resumed deportation flights to Venezuela, with the first flight carrying nearly 200 migrants landing at Simón Bolívar International Airport. This follows an agreement between Washington and Caracas to restart repatriation flights, which had been suspended since March. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security confirmed the deportation of 199 individuals who lacked legal basis to remain in the country. The resumption of these flights marks a significant development in U.S.-Venezuela relations, particularly concerning immigration policies. Venezuelan Foreign Minister and his Honduran counterpart highlighted the operation as a humanitarian collaboration. The move has elicited varied reactions, reflecting the complex political and social dynamics surrounding migration and deportation.
Greenland's Prime Minister has labeled a planned visit by U.S. officials, including Second Lady Usha Vance, as highly aggressive. The visit, intended to discuss strategic interests in the Arctic region, has raised concerns about U.S. intentions and the potential for increased geopolitical tension. Greenland's leadership is apprehensive about external influences affecting its autonomy and resource management. The criticism underscores the delicate balance Greenland seeks to maintain in its international relations, particularly with powerful nations expressing interest in the Arctic's strategic and economic potential. President Trump has shown interest in Greenland, including a proposal to purchase the territory, which was declined.
The IRS is reportedly close to finalizing an agreement with ICE to provide access to certain tax records to assist in identifying undocumented immigrants. The deal, which has drawn criticism from privacy advocates, would allow ICE to use IRS data to cross-reference Social Security mismatches and financial records for enforcement purposes. Officials argue that the partnership aims to strengthen border security and ensure compliance with federal immigration laws. If finalized, the agreement could significantly enhance ICE's ability to track individuals suspected of residing in the U.S. without proper documentation. Civil rights groups warn that the use of IRS data for immigration enforcement could deter undocumented individuals from filing taxes, which would reduce government revenue and impact the economy. The IRS has yet to confirm the scope of the agreement, but sources indicate it could be implemented within the next few months.
The U.S. Navy has sent the USS Lassen, a guided missile destroyer, to the Gulf of Mexico in response to growing concerns over border security. The deployment, the first of its kind in recent years, is intended to support the Department of Homeland Security's efforts to curb illegal crossings and drug trafficking via maritime routes. Officials have stated that the vessel will conduct surveillance operations and assist the Coast Guard in intercepting suspicious vessels. The move has sparked debate among lawmakers, with some arguing it militarizes immigration enforcement, while others see it as necessary due to the increasing use of boats by smugglers. The Pentagon has emphasized that the destroyer's presence is primarily for reconnaissance and deterrence rather than direct interdiction. This decision follows reports of cartel operations utilizing the Gulf to transport narcotics and migrants into the U.S. undetected.
Mass protests continue across Turkey for the fifth consecutive day following the arrest of prominent opposition leader Ekrem İmamoğlu. İmamoğlu, the mayor of Istanbul and a leading challenger to President Erdogan, was detained on charges of corruption, which critics claim are politically motivated. Protesters have gathered in major cities, demanding his release and accusing the government of suppressing political opposition ahead of upcoming elections. The Turkish government has deployed riot police to control the demonstrations, with reports of clashes and multiple arrests. International human rights organizations have condemned İmamoğlu's detention, urging Erdogan's administration to uphold democratic principles. Analysts warn that the protests could escalate further, increasing political instability in the country.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can also follow us on our other socials, links in the description box below. Thank you again.